All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the wake-up call. My name's Kirby, and I'm calling in from Tennessee this morning where we got a bit of a snowstorm going on. We got a couple inches on the ground and coming down at a rate of about an inch an hour, I guess, so we're going to get quite a bit today, and it's an exciting thing. Doesn't happen that often in Tennessee, and it's beautiful. So welcome to the wake-up call. We do this every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday morning at 8:15 Central Time. And we would encourage you to make a habit of starting your day with us and inviting a friend or two to join us as well, whether doesn't really matter where they are in life. Just invite them to dial in the wake-up call. We talk about all kinds of good things. We got a really good topic this morning to talk about. And to do that is the host of the wake-up call this morning, and really the founder of the wake-up call, the person that had the idea to start this crazy thing at 8:15 every morning, and the 15-minute inspirational call to get you going, and that's my wife, Miss Cindy Wright, coming up on 41 years of marriage. Cindy, you got the call.
All right. Thank you so much, Kirby, and welcome everyone to the wake-up call. Happy Monday. We're on chapter 40 in the book, The Little Things Matter. It's the damaging effect of complaining. Is anyone ever complain? Oh, not me. Psychologists say that people generally complain for one of two reasons: as a way of enlisting people to agree with their point of view, or as a means of making conversation, since negative observations often yield a bigger response than positive comments. Sadly, that's true. But neither of these reasons outweighs the fact that no one likes being around people who are chronic complainers. Whining is a childish trait and can be a difficult habit to break once it has become a part of your communication style. Nevertheless, breaking the habit of complaining is essential if you wish to be viewed as someone whose words carry weight and whose opinions matter. Some forms of complaints are obvious, but other forms are often disguised as commentary or critique. They may appear more subtle, but are just as damaging to your reputation. When you have a legitimate complaint to communicate, you can do so in a productive manner by following these guidelines. First one, have a purpose. Having an objective for complaining means that you wish to accomplish something that is both reasonable and specific. Complaints without purpose include things like the way your favorite NFL team played on Sunday, the weather, or the traffic on the interstate. These things may bother you to a degree, but you can't do anything about any of them, so why spend your time complaining about them? Offer a proposed solution. Whenever you complain, be prepared to offer a reasonable solution. The next one, be understanding. People are not perfect, and most employees are doing the best they can. It's also important to recognize that what may be logical to you may not be logical to someone else. Make a point to accept and value the differences in people. Recognize that we all come from different backgrounds and have different life experiences. Have a little more patience. Be a little more forgiving. The next one, treat others with respect and kindness. If you must complain in certain situations, such as being served cold food in a restaurant, discovering a billing error, or challenging a warranty discrepancy, describe your situation in a way that shows respect to the individual listening to your complaint. Otherwise, these people are not the ones at fault. They just answered the phone or waited on your table. And even if it is their fault, there's no need to speak to them in a disrespectful manner. The challenge, he says, the good news is that breaking the habit of complaining is something you can do all on your own. Here are a few suggestions to get you started. For the next 24 hours, make an effort to catch yourself each time you complain, at work, at home, out in the community. Be aware of your tone, and how much you verbalize your dissatisfaction with other people or things is the first step towards ridding yourself of this bad habit. Listen to the people around you, especially out in public. Notice how they speak to servers, customer service reps, and other workers. What does this tell you about them? What does the way you speak to people in public say about you? The next time you find it necessary to lodge a legitimate complaint, make sure it meets the criteria discussed: purposeful, solution-oriented, understanding, kind, and whine-free. Wow. So I think it's I've read this chapter, and our church is going through this 40-day fast thing that starts today. And I said, I think I'm just going to fast from complaining for 40 days. And Kirby said, well, good luck with that. Anyway, Kirby, I'll give it to you for your thoughts.
Well, some good stuff here. One of the things that hit me was this communication style, that people talk about things that are negative because they get a bigger response than things that are positive, which we have witnessed with some family members that are pretty good at this. And I think it really kind of revolves around the drama that they want to create. There's something thrilling about saying, complaining about something or bringing some bad news to the table. It's just a style. It's a communication style. Some people tend to communicate that way, and it's not very productive. But, one of the things that my mom used to tell me, always come up with these little mom said things. She said, if you don't have something nice to say, just don't say it. And that has set with me pretty well, and I try and adhere to that. If it's something that's not good or that I want to complain about, I try and resist and try and look for a solution. And I will give you some kind of marriage advice after being married coming up on 41 years, that if my wife is complaining about something, my tendency is to try and fix it. My tendency is to come up with a solution, and many times I offer the solution, and she'll just tell me, I'm not looking for a solution. She just wants to talk about it, which is weird, kind of one of the things that's different about men and women. But complaining is something that really doesn't have a big purpose in life, I think. If we are going to complain about something, as he suggested, make sure that we have some kind of solution to fix it. If we're complaining, we're going to bring some kind of solution, offer up some kind of solution that might fix it. With that, Cindy, I'll give it back to you for some final comments, and I'll close out the call.
Well, it was interesting, when he was talking about respecting others when you are complaining, like, how many times have we all been upset, with a customer service rep over the phone, and you're upset that you've been overcharged, or you're trying to return something or whatever it is, and it is so easy to try, or like to take it out on that person. And, when that person is just the person answering the phone, trying to follow the rules of their company. And, I mean, granted, some of them can be rude, and, it just kind of fuels the fire and makes you irritable. But Kirby and I and his brother and my sister-in-law, we went to a restaurant recently, and it's a restaurant up on the mountain that is a 5-star restaurant, and we had never been there before, and we'd wanted to go, but it was really hard to get reservations. So we finally got reservations, and we go up there, and we ordered appetizers. Well, Kirby and I both got soup, or I think, or I know I did. And our first, my soup came, and it was cold. And I'm like, okay, this is weird, this fancy restaurant serving cold soup. So I asked our waitress, hey, Kirby, I don't know if your soup was cold too, but anyway, I said, can you please heat my soup up? Because it was lobster bisque. Like, I didn't want to eat it cold. And so she took that back, and she brought it back to me, and it was hot. And then our entrees came, and they were cold. And both mine and Kirby's were both cold. And so we're like, okay. I mean, because these are like, $50, $60 a plate entrees. And so she came, and I'm like, we hate to be complainers, but our food is cold. And she was like, oh my gosh. And we're like, we're really sorry. We don't normally complain, but, we just don't eat cold food. And so she took it back, and she ended up getting us a whole new, dinner. Well, and she said, oh, and the desserts are on me. She said, you can order whatever you want, free desserts. Well, by the time our food got ready to be eaten again, we didn't want to eat. It had been like an hour and a half, And so we said, you know what, just take ours, just have it to go, and we'll just eat it tomorrow or whatever. And so she ended up coming back, apologizing so many times, and she brought us all four of us. She made them remake all of our entrees, even though his brother and his wife weren't cold. And she brought us all entrees and in to-go boxes, gave us a free dessert, did not charge us anything but our drinks for the meal. And we looked at her and we said, you know what, you have been so gracious about this. Thank you so much. And we left her like a $150 tip. And so it was like, it paid us to not, we complained, but we did it in a respectful manner, and we ended up winning from the situation. So anyway, I'll give it to you for your last comments, Kirby.
Yeah, I hate sending food back because it messes up the whole timing of the meal, which that did. And I hate to complain, but for a good meal, I wanted it to be warm. So I was thinking about the same situation, and you did, and I think I did as well. We were kind of quiet with it. We didn't make a big deal out of it and really didn't want to send the food back, but we didn't have much choice. So every now and then you got to do that. And it is something that we deal with, and a lot of people, back to the original point I made, some people are just kind of geared to create drama by focusing on what's wrong and complaining about it. Don't be that guy. Don't be that person. And so with that, Cindy, any final comments? Is there a challenge at the end of this chapter?
I don't know. He just says complaining is harmful to your reputation. If you must criticize, make sure your words are constructive and that you handle yourself in a way that reflects positively on your character. So if we're going to complain today, let's make it positive and solution-oriented. So I'll give it to you to close out. Y'all have a great day.
All right. Thank you, Cindy. Good job. And I'm going to unmute the lines here.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Great call. Blessed day.